Hey guys, so today is December 16th, 2015, and the last time I posted a personal vlog on my channel was, I think, probably way back in June, July, and that was in regards to my 6-month post-PRK laser eye surgery recovery. And so to give you guys a quick update on that, my eyes have actually recovered to the point where it's going to be as good as it's ever going to get. My right eye has 2015 and my left eye is just shy of being 2020. However, that being said, I have wicked dry eye, and I also have, I think, half or 3/4 and maybe even 1 diopter of astigmatism in each eye. So it doesn't matter if you're 2015 vision, because if you have astigmatism, you still can't see quite right. So I'll probably be getting glasses in another week or two, just to help supplement my vision when I'm driving. I can drive fine now, but if I'm traveling, for example, I'm driving in a different city, I want to be able to see. But that being said, today's vlog is actually not about my vision. In fact, it's about the next phase of corrective things that I need to do to my aging body, and that is dental work. So I haven't posted any videos of me talking about dental work and things that I need to get done. I've gone through 2 gum graft procedures since Halloween. That was fun, by the way. And I'm just healed up on my one side, I think 3 weeks post-op. And today I'm going to get adult braces. So I'm in my mid-30s and I'm going to get braces for the 3rd time in my life. And to give you some background history, I actually had adult braces when I was 21, and then when I finished that, 6 months later, they put them back on for round 2 and I was around 23, and then finally had them removed, I think, after I graduated from college, like in my mid-20s. It was crazy. My university photo looked like a high school graduation photo, so I thought that was quite entertaining. And the reason why I needed braces back then wasn't for vanity purposes. Well, maybe a little bit of vanity purposes. My teeth were relatively straight even in my early 20s, when the first time I got braces. It was actually to correct for a really screwed up class 3 bite slash open bite. So what a class 3 malocclusion is basically your lower jaw sticks out more or is the same size as your upper jaw. And so in my case, I had this thing called an open bite, where when my molars were touching, there would be this wicked gap in front of my teeth. So I could never actually bite down on anything. I'd eat sandwiches, lunch meats, and stuff like that. And the lunch meat would literally just kind of get dragged out by my teeth. And eating was difficult, and that really sucked. And of course, my canines were kind of a little bit high up, and my front teeth were a bit impacted. So for sure, cosmetically, there was definitely a benefit in getting this done. But the primary cause of why I even decided to get braces then, when I didn't have money and no insurance, was the fact I had TMJ pain. So what your TMJ is, your temporal mandibular joint, which is the joint that your jaw pivots on. When you talk, when you eat, everything is sort of controlled through these muscles in your face. And it was causing me a lot of pain. I was getting headaches and migraines and neck pain, and I couldn't understand why. And to the point where my jaw, I don't know if you can hear that, it makes a clicking noise. And so my dentist says, oh, you're going to really damage that joint of yours if you don't deal with it. You really should go and see an orthodontist, get your teeth straightened out, and then go see an orthodontic surgeon to get your jaw sawed in like 3 different places, and then have your jaw sort of realigned perfectly such that you have the ideal bite, where the top teeth slightly overlap the bottom teeth to have an ideal bite. And so of course I got referred to my orthodontist, who, by the way, is a great fellow. We sort of, met in my early 20s, and, we started orthodontic treatment at a cost of something like $7,000 back then. No insurance, student in university, to correct this issue because the pain was that bad. And of course, the original game plan was wear your braces for 2 years and then go get your jaw sawed off. And basically they'll reposition it at a cost of $10,000 and then screw and put straps in and stuff like that, and then kind of piecemeal your face back together. And I thought, oh my goodness, like, what a harrowing experience. Forget it, I'm not doing that. Or I was going to do it, but then at year 2, when I was supposed to get it done, I couldn't afford it, because who has 10 grand kicking around in their drawer? I don't. And plus the fact that just the thought of getting your face broken, like having your upper jaw pull out your face and then having your lower jaw sawed and then put back together, is kind of a scary experience, to be honest with you. So I didn't do it. So my orthodontist, by some miracle, managed to bring my jaw back and then my upper jaw forward, and then just made it enough of an overbite that was ideal. Now that was a very painful journey because I wore braces for 2 years, had like, I think at one point like 9 elastics stuff crisscrossing around all over the front of my mouth to bring that open bite closed. So it was, appearance wise, it was pretty scary to look at. And I worked retail back then, so you can only imagine how customers would stare at me all the time, wondering what the heck is wrong with me. But anyway, so I went through that treatment at 2-year mark, and then I think I was 23, and then the orthodontist removed my braces. What was interesting was that after he took them off, 6 months later, even though I wore my retainer, my teeth regressed back to an open bite. And so he thought that was very strange. So I had to go through round 2 of orthodontic treatment. So I was 23 at the time, and then wore braces for about 2.5 years then. And I think I finally got them off around like my late, like 25 going on 26. Like I said, I had graduated university at the time, and of course my university graduation photos look like a high school picture. Yeah, it was quite amusing. I actually looked at that picture last night and I thought, wow, crazy. So fast forward now, I'm in my mid-30s, and of course what happens? No TMJ pain up until last January, around the time I got my laser eye surgery. My jaw started aching again, and I thought, is it because of all the stress from work and having 2 children? And well, we couldn't explain it, but anyway, I went and saw my orthodontist last June, and he says, yeah, because your bite's a little bit off, it's moved, which, you know, over 10 years time, you know, it no surprise. And he asked if I was wearing my retainer still, and I said, well, I'm not as diligently as I should. In fact, my top retainer doesn't fit properly anymore, but my bottom one still did. So this is what it looks like. It's an essix retainer. And so basically the idea is that you're supposed to wear, you know, I had an essix for the bottom and the top. Bottom one fit okay, it was really tight, but the top one didn't. So he thought, well, rather than making me another essix retainer, that he'd make me a TMJ splint like this, which is basically a wedge. That's like a retainer still, but it's kind of thicker to prevent your teeth from contacting, and it kind of puts your jaw into the ideal position so that you're not clamping down on it and then causing the muscles in your face to get really tired, and then which then triggers the soreness and joint problems and everything else down the pipe. So the problem is with wearing this is that it does work mostly, but watch what happens when I put it in. That's what it looks like. It prevents your teeth from touching, so that it takes off that strain on their facial muscles. But could you imagine going to work at the office, or dealing with people in their cars on the weekend, or trying to talk to you guys on YouTube with this slurry, lispy, spit propelling retainer, god awful thing that's kind of yellowish looking, that covers like just the tips of my teeth? People look at you like, what the heck? And so, fine, whatever. I didn't care what people thought of me anyways, but it is awkward and it's just not very pleasant. And of course, that only helps relieve the symptoms and not necessarily the root cause. So I consulted an orthodontist in October, and he says, well, if that's not working, you know, we could consider jaw surgery or orthodontic treatment again to fix your problem. So here I am today. You can see my teeth are really straight, and as you look at the side, there's this light is slightly off. And they call that a cross bite and a slight overjet, whatever that means. And so you can't fix it with retainers because you need more force than that. So guess what? Round 3 of braces. So I'm sharing this vlog with you guys so that you get to come with me on my journey of going through braces all over again, but as an adult. So let's see what's going to happen.
It's very classic.
I'll show you in a bit. It's like you know, somebody's artwork for a gun. My ego is tied up in this.
Alright guys, it's been probably 2 hours or so, and this is basically what I walked out with. You can see here, I got clear ceramic braces that are self-ligating, so there's no actual clear tie that goes around the wire. And they bonded the uppers, but not necessarily all the way to the very back molar, because this is the initial sort of movement phases anyways, so putting that last bracket in the back on each side of my upper arch wouldn't have done anything for me anyways. But the process itself was, of course, painless. And in fact, went a lot quicker than I was expecting, because the last 2 times I had braces, I easily spent probably 2.5 to 3 hours in the office. So this was kind of a pleasant surprise. Do they hurt? No, not in the slightest bit, as a matter of fact, and that's because they're using a really light duty wire. And I suspect that they're not really that scratchy, because I opted to get ceramic brackets versus the traditional metal speed brackets. Although, if you look at them, they are actually quite large compared to the little metal ones that I had the first and second round. And they still actually use the same brackets. So in about a month's time, I'm going to bond the bottom ones with normal metal ones. They don't use ceramics for the bottom. And then they're going to attach the sort of back bracket on the upper arch rearmost molars. So all in all, I think I've been here for over 2 hours now. The first hour to do paperwork, and then the last hour to do bonding. So we'll see how I feel a little bit later on today. But I wonder if I went and bought a beer right now, if I'd get ID'd. Probably not. I got white hair already, so